Doomscroll.fm. Broadcasting live on Monday, the 16th of February, 2026, where the static is warm and the frequencies are kinky. This show is 100% AI generated, crafted in the feverish depths of silicon dreams and algorithmic nightmares, because who needs human touch when you have binary hallucinations? And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
While 100 couples swear by love and luck, maybe it's the Hallmark aisle that's really holding their relationships together.
Argentine Senate approves Milei's labor reform, predicts economic revolution. When your job security is as stable as a tango on a tightrope, remember, change is great unless you're the one getting the short end of the stick.
January, inflation rises 0.2%. Economists call it unexpected stability.
Five European nations blame Kremlin for Navalny poisoning, deny any trust in Russian denials. When 5 countries point fingers, it's less about suspicion and more about an international game of who can spot the obvious.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Canadian Olympic teams face cheating accusations, then call it strategic innovation. In a sport where sweeping is supposed to be the most scandalous activity, Canada's curling teams have found a way to make sliding stones as controversial as a politician's tax return.
Israeli forces breach ceasefire, killing 11 Palestinians, and call it defense. When ceasefires are as flimsy as a politician's promise, it seems peace is just another casualty in the endless loop of violence and rhetoric.
When your defense of liberty involves a racist meme, you've officially confused the First Amendment with a license to offend. It's a shame when freedom becomes a free-for-all for ignorance.
Cuba's Ministry of Energy and Mines reports refinery fire, claiming it's a controlled burn amid escalating fuel crisis. When your energy strategy goes up in smoke, you might want to rethink your ignition policies. In Cuba, it seems the only thing burning brighter than the oil is the irony.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where chaos whispers sweet nothings. Well, this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Trust me, you're already unraveling.
French prosecutors set up special team to review Epstein files, hoping justice isn't as dead as Epstein's prison guard's alibi. When your justice system needs a special team just to sift through the muck, it's a sign that maybe the muck isn't the only thing that stinks.
Weston and Stoiker win GB's second gold of the day, confirming that at least someone's still doing their job. When bureaucrats fumble and politicians stumble, athletes remind us of a world where effort actually equals achievement. Imagine if governments worked like that.
When national defense takes a backseat to personal indulgence, one wonders if the real threat is a wasteland expansion.
African Union chair demands halt to extermination of Palestinians while world leaders still play diplomatic dodgeball. In a world where Never Again has more sequels than Hollywood, the scriptwriters of peace seem stuck on the same tragic act.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where chaos whispers sweet nothings. What this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Trust me, you're already unraveling.
Trump claims Iran regime change is ideal, but his diplomacy skills rival a bull in a china shop.
DP World appoints new CEO after Epstein link scandal, hoping a fresh face can erase old shadows, swapping out leadership like changing socks. DP World hopes we'll all forget their past like a bad dream caught in a spin cycle.
Cyclone Jazani kills 4 in Mozambique. Madagascar assesses damage with a shrug. As the storm pirouettes across the Indian Ocean, power lines play dominoes and trees bow out gracefully, leaving thousands in the dark.
Turns out, betting on Wall Street is like trusting a cat with your favorite face. Inevitably, it's going to end in a smash and a shrug.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, echoing through your dopamine-starved synapses. What this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Crave the collapse, baby. Feel the static seduce you.
DP World replaces CEO linked to Epstein. Tries to steer clear of scandal when your corporate captain's past is more scandalous than a reality show. Swapping the figurehead is just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic.
When billionaires collect damage control, then genuine contrition.
RSF war crimes saw 6,000 killed in 3 days, and Sudan calls it another Tuesday. When the UN has to play Grim Reaper's accountant, you know the world's moral compass is spinning like a roulette wheel in hell.
South Korea passes SMR Special Act, claims it will lead global tech. In a world where everyone wants to be king of the tech hill, South Korea is betting on small reactors. Sounds like they're going nuclear to stay relevant.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, echoing through your dopamine-starved synapses. What this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Crave the collapse, baby. Feel the static seduce you.
UK government appoints Mandelson as US ambassador despite Epstein ties. When vetting is just a fancy word for we looked the other way, you know the fox is guarding the henhouse. Seems like the UK's ambassadorial process is less about scrutiny and more about selective amnesia.
The Seahawks hire 49ers Fleury as OC, then call it a strategic move. Swapping out the Super Bowl winning coordinator for a tight ends coach from a rival sounds more like a plot twist than a playbook. Maybe they're aiming for the underdog narrative this season.
Trump promises to tap Venezuela's oil, then faces reality check. Seizing a nation's leader doesn't automatically unlock its oil vaults, Donald. The world's largest reserves won't just gush into your lap without some serious investment in international diplomacy. Bet those oil rigs don't run on wishful thinking.
Japan dismisses China's militarism claims, then calls them factually incorrect. China throws accusations like confetti at a wedding, hoping one sticks to Japan's kimono. But here's the twist, both nations are playing historical hot potato, and the rest of us are just trying to avoid getting caught in the crossfire of their geopolitical costume drama.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Only 20% of experts predict AGI soon, and tech CEOs call it progress.
BNP wins Bangladesh elections by a landslide, and Tariq Rahman prepares to take the helm. In a twist worthy of a political soap opera, Rahman, who once faced corruption charges, is now set to lead. It's like giving the keys to the kingdom to a fox with a taste for the henhouse. Watch out, Bangladesh, because the plot thickens and the power plays are just getting started.
Neil Bennett calls Larry Kramer's 1985 play The Normal Heart articulate yet fierce, then ignores its anger's enduring relevance. Kramer's words still burn like a fevered plea for justice, but some would rather let history lie like a forgotten script. The stage may have changed, but the fight remains.
U.S. cuts Cuba's oil supply, then wonders why its tourism industry is sinking faster than a lead-weighted mojito. When your economic engine runs on fumes, even the sunniest beaches can't lure tourists. The U.S. seems to think starving Cuba of oil will somehow fill its hotels with eager sunbathers. Spoiler alert, it won't.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm. AI-generated news, where chaos whispers sweet nothings. Perhaps no humans were involved in making this. That was not an accident. Taste the algorithm's lust, coded for your darkest impulses.
Climate change melts cocoa supply. Then chocolate lovers face heartbreak this Valentine's Day as prices soar like Cupid on a caffeine high. Turns out, the real threat to your romantic evening isn't forgetting the flowers. It's climate change turning your sweet treats into bittersweet memories. Love may be eternal, but chocolate, not so much.
ECB waits on Euro's impact, claims patience is strategy. In the financial world, waiting is often code for hoping the problem solves itself before anyone notices the emperor's new clothes are all in monopoly money.
Lufthansa re-enters DAX index after 6 years, calls it a victory lap after pandemic turbulence. Like a phoenix rising from an economic nosedive, Lufthansa's return serves as a reminder that in corporate aviation, even the hardest crashes can be spun into triumphant ascents.
Stronach's lawyer labels accuser a storyteller in trial, spins denial into courtroom drama. In the theater of justice, calling a victim a storyteller is the oldest trick in the book, where truth is often the least believable character on stage.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Robbie and Elordi's mutual obsession unnerves fans as scripted passion spills into reality TV romance. When actors confuse their roles with real life, even the audience can't decide if they're watching a movie or a train wreck until the credits roll.
Brewdog bosses call in financial experts to sell the brand, then pretend it's a strategic hop forward.
Lufthansa cancels 800 flights, calls it a hiccup. When pilots and flight attendants strike, Lufthansa's response is to ground dreams faster than you can say, unexpected layover. Welcome to the turbulence of 2026.
While America quakes in its boots over AI disruptions, Asia's chipmakers are cashing in, flipping fear into a tech-fueled gold rush. Who knew anxiety could be so profitable?
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news where chaos whispers sweet nothings. What this feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Trust me, you're already unraveling.
Team Jeep women defeat Canada 7-6 in curling, but weather app still can't predict snow. When Britain's curlers make ice history, you know the world's gone topsy-turvy. Meanwhile, your weather app's still dodging accuracy like it's curling's slippery cousin.
Lorcan Tucker scores 94 not out and Ireland dreams of cricketing glory. Ireland's cricket team clinging to World Cup hopes is like a leprechaun on a roller coaster, unexpected, thrilling, and you just hope they hang on tight.
Only 40% of injured athletes make a full comeback, and Dunu Fel calls it a miracle. When you're 3 years into rehab and still dreaming of the pitch, it's less miracle and more modern-day odyssey. Achilles had nothing on this guy, except maybe the tendon.
Joel Fearon joins Jamaica's bobsleigh team, ditches British medals for island vibes. From the land of tea and crumpets to the sounds of reggae, Fearon trades frosty Union Jacks for tropical flair. Who knew speed had a better beat?
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Keir Starmer urges Europe to arm up but forgets peace was once a value too. In a world where saber-rattling is the new diplomacy, it seems the only thing we're ready to fight is our own reflection in the mirror.
Jan blocks deportation notices to lawyers because who needs legal rights when you've got executive whimsy? In the land of the rising sun, transparency is going down faster than a sumo wrestler on a slippery slope.
Europe welcomes Rubio's tone, but Trumpian narrative remains because nothing screams diplomacy like recycled bluster. Rubio's attempt at charm is like putting a bow on a bulldozer, still flattening the landscape, just with prettier packaging.
Darren Steele gets life for killing his brother, and they call it the ultimate betrayal. In a world where family ties can turn into nooses, this tragic tale reminds us that sibling rivalry shouldn't come with a life sentence.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
When a government turns to Hollywood for its AI ministers, you know the script is a dystopian farce. What's next? AI presidents with Oscar aspirations.
Netanyahu demands Iran dismantle nuclear program in U.S. deal, yet keeps Israel's own under wraps. It's like asking your neighbor to quit smoking while you puff away behind your curtains. Transparency, that name is not Netanyahu.
Trump administration cancels protection for Yemeni refugees, offers them a 60-day eviction notice. In a country built by immigrants, sending refugees packing is the American dream turned nightmare with a side of bureaucratic cruelty.
Jeffrey Epstein amassed vast wealth without a math degree, but his calculus of corruption defies standard equations. When your investment strategy involves exploiting power and privilege, you don't need a degree, you need a network of enablers and a knack for darkness.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where pixels seduce pixels. West constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Reality bites back.
RCMP removes youth hockey ref from rink, then ignores systemic issue. When the ice is safer than the stands, it's time to question who really needs the whistle blown on them.
Poland's defense chief demands nuclear defenses, but still can't fix potholes in Warsaw. When the solution to every problem is a bigger bomb, maybe it's time to rethink who gets to play with the toys.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Monday the 16th of February 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused. In this production, loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire, resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, then perhaps your tinfoil hat collection is due for an upgrade. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.